Welcome to episode 8 of our Tekkit 2 playthrough. This episode is going to be about this HV solar array factory that I have built and is now finished. In the previous episode, I handcrafted 25 HV solar arrays and it was a nightmare. So I wanted to automate the entire process so I didn't have to do it anymore. This blue area here, outlined by these blue lights, is where these solar panels are made. The yellow area here is where the EV transformers are made. The white area here makes everything for the IV transformer, and everything in the purple area is dedicated solely to making UU matter. So I will try to go through each area one by one and explain the steps in each. So the factory starts in this blue area here, which makes solar panels. Just the regular solar panels up here. I built this first, and this actually helped me handcraft most of those HV solar panels. So this is where we will start. Everything starts back here with a energy condenser, which is making iron ingots. The iron ingots are pulled using a broadcaster chip into these induction furnaces, and these induction furnaces are always set to have 2 stacks of iron ingots in them from a stockkeeper chip. The iron ingots, once they're smelted into refined iron ingots, are then broadcasted once again to the network, and they will all be pulled into this chest whenever there is room, and this is where I store all my refined iron ingots. From there, they will be pulled and given to anything else connected in these pipes here, which is everything else in this blue area. So that is the one raw material I'm making. And the second one is rubber. So we start with sticky resin on this side. It is pulled into these induction furnaces, crafted into rubber, and then just the same as the iron, it is broadcasted to this chest over here. You can see this is not full because I need a lot more rubber than I need refined iron ingots. So I'm using this up pretty much as fast as I can make it. And then from there, it is broadcasted to the network just like from this chest here. So that is how I get my refined iron ingots in the network and my rubber in the network, as well as my iron in the network, because I need that as well. So the iron that is needed comes up through this pipe here and goes, well, it does go in here to make iron furnaces, and it will go anywhere else it's needed in the network. The use of this pipe here, it is called a firewall pipe. I put refined iron ingots inside it, and it's blacklisted, so it will not allow refined iron ingots through this pipe. That way, all the refined iron ingots have to go into this chest, and I can store them and then go to the network. Whereas if I didn't have this firewall pipe here, refined iron ingots would always just go straight to the network, and I would never have this chest full of them, which I want in case I ever need it, or it makes it easier to use a bunch all at once if the network needs it. So from there, we can go to these 2 energy condensers. This is making redstone forever. Ignore the iron and the copper, I just threw it in there. It'll be consumed eventually. It was just in my inventory. And this energy condenser creates tin, and those 2 will also do that forever. This energy condenser here will make copper forever, and this copper is important because it's pulled with the rubber into this auto crafting bench to make copper cables. You can see it working here. We can wait for more rubber. There you go, rubber shows up, it uses rubber and copper, and it makes copper cables. And the copper cables are once again pulled out both from the side here and from the top, and used in multiple networks. This chest here is where I store all the excess copper cable that I can. This is full if the network isn't running, but of course we're using a bunch right now. This chest here is simply for overflow. So if you look in this interface pipe, it has a item overflow responder chip. So anything that's just left in the network, for example, like these, you can see they went somewhere, but then they couldn't get in for whatever reason, so now they're just stuck in the system. This is a closed system here, but over here, everything is connected to this chest here. So anything that's overflowed in the system will be put in this chest and then once again broadcasted to the system for when it is needed. I do have the same thing over here in case anything's broadcasted on this side. This one's actually full because so much overflow has came. And just an overflow responder chip and a broadcast chip. Throughout here you'll see these blue, these are called junction pipes, and they are required every time there is a connection from more than two directions. So if it was just going this way and this way, that would be alright, but since it's going from the bottom, the left, and the top, that's 3 directions, so I need this junction pipe, otherwise the items will get lost, and we obviously don't want that. So after the iron furnaces are crafted in here, they're stored in here. After the electronic circuit or copper cables are stored in here, they are pulled out into here, which makes electronic circuits, gets the refined iron and the redstone and the copper cables, redstone in here, refined iron from here, and the copper cables are made in here. And then the electronic circuits are stored in here. Quite a few of them at the moment. The iron furnaces are pulled out into here, which requests iron furnaces, refined iron ingots, and RE batteries to make generators. All of those are fed into here to make generators, and my generators are stored in here. So now I have electronic circuits, generators. Here I make glass because you need glass in the solar panel recipe. So now I have electronic circuits, generators, and glass. I just need coal dust. So I come over here. I've got this energy condenser always making coal dust, or coal I should say. It is fed into these 6 rotary macerators in the same way everything else is. Broadcaster chip into stock keepers and then rebroadcasted. So all 6 of these are making copper dust, and then there's my copper dust. They all come together to this chest, and finally my solar panels are made. So that is the blue area. Solar panels finished. And then of course I have the solar panels broadcasted to the next step. So this yellow section is what I built second, so we'll do it second. And this focuses on the EV transformer. Now the EV transformer is an absolute nightmare. Not as bad as the IV transformer because the IV transformer requires an EV transformer. However, the EV transformer requires an advanced circuit, a upgraded energy crystal, and 2 silver, which is pretty easy because it does have an EMC value, and then an HV transformer, which requires a couple more things, and an MV transformer, which requires a few more things. So a lot more crafting going on here as well. I do steal quite a few items from the blue area into my yellow area, because while making solar panels I did build a lot of the stuff I need for this EV transformer. So for example, over here you can see this pipe here that goes over top of everything into the yellow area. That is transporting copper cables over if I need them. As well as I have all of this hooked up to the yellow area, so if I ever need electronic circuits, they're available as well as coal dust. I don't think I use, oh, I do use coal dust right here actually, so the coal dust I take from here as well. So this is kind of a few little machines on the outside and then a big machine on the inside, so I'll do the little ones first. This here, so I take the coal dust from this chest, it goes into here to make raw carbon fiber. The raw carbon fiber is taken out and it is used to make raw carbon mesh, and then the raw carbon mesh is taken out and compressed into carbon plates, and then I'm storing a chest full of carbon plates. Everything here is using broadcaster chips on the main supply chest, and then stockkeeper chips to request whatever I need in those chests. And then once it's crafted, I will broadcast that item back into the network. This right here, just this little machine, and then these machines here create advanced alloy. So I've got my iron being smelted into refined iron and then stored. I've got my bronze dust being smelted into bronze and then stored. And I've got my tin. All of these three items are broadcasted into a crafter which makes mixed metal ingots. Mixed metal ingots are then compressed into advanced alloy and then stored in this chest. So this is kind of a mess. The reason all of these are together is because they need power and they can get power from each other, so I only have to supply one with power if I do it this way. So we'll start here. This chest here turns diamond blocks into diamonds, which is kind of funny, but anyways, we have a ton of diamonds stored. Another redstone chest, so a ton of redstone stored. And this makes our energy crystals, which is just a diamond surrounded by redstone. Those are broadcasted into this chest, which adds electronic circuits and lapis to make upgraded electronic circuits, energy crystals. These lapitron crystals are then passed out into here. Is it here? No. These take energy crystals. So these energy crystals are going in both of these. And then the lapitron crystals are coming all the way over here to make our EV transformers. And all of these chests are getting what they needed through stockkeeper chips. So, for example, to make these lapitron crystals, this stockkeeper chip is requesting 6 energy crystals, electronic circuits, and 2 stacks of lapis. So you can see in here it's got its 2 stacks of lapis, the electronic circuits, and all the energy crystals have been upgraded, so there are none in here right now. But if you take one out, hopefully the system will send it one. Okay, it came eventually, so I was getting worried. So yes, that's how that works. Throw this away for now. This chest here is making glowstone. This chest is making lapis. This chest is an overflow chest, just like I showed earlier. Overflow responder chip. So these items were lost in the network and this just pulls it out. These 3 here make machine blocks, gold cables, and machine blocks and gold cables together make MV transformers. So that's what these 3 here do. These 2 crafting tables here, this one makes 4 times insulated HV cables, which is needed for HV transformers. One on top and the bottom. This chest here is just always making HV cables, which is pretty simple, just 3 refined iron. So it fills up pretty quick. So then it sends it here, they get insulated, then it sends it here, makes an HV transformer, which is sent here to make EV transformers. Our EV transformers just need advanced circuits, which we haven't made yet, so that's made here. Just our electronic circuits, and it takes 2 lapis, 2 glowstone, and 4 redstone. So I get all of that through, here's the redstone, here's a glowstone, here's the lapis, and you can see how fast it works if I just take out, let's say I just take out a couple stacks. So now it has room for the redstone, which it didn't before. Hopefully it'll just pull in some redstone and show you how well it works. There you go. Redstone is immediately used and makes a bunch more advanced circuits. So that is pretty nice. And you see I just filled in this slot, which was going to be redstone. Okay, so it didn't make any overflow that time, but stuff like that is what makes the overflow in the network. So just be careful of that. So that is how we make our EV transformers. And then I have this chest here, which I'm just requesting a bunch of things that I need from this network. In here, I'm requesting diamonds, refined iron ingots, NV transformers, EV transformers, a bunch of normal iron ingots, and some more refined iron ingots. And I put them in here, and then I broadcast them from here. The reason I don't just connect this pipe, which supplies everything over here, the reason I just don't connect that to this system is that if you make the systems too big, for example, if everything I built here was connected to each other instead of separated into little units, it becomes quite buggy and it's hard to tell what's broken and you get overflow everywhere. So it's good to compartmentalize each part and try not to make the systems too big if you can help it. So you can, once you make a product you like, you can put it in a chest like this one and then broadcast from a different side, and now you split the system in two instead of just having one massive system. So that's what I do here, broadcasting anything I need from this system into the next one. As well as I'm broadcasting this advanced alloy and this carbon plate because I don't need them to make the EV transformers, but I will need them to make the IV transformers. So let's follow the pipe. This is where all of that goes. I am broadcasting. This is the last little crafting thing I put in kind of last second. This makes LV transformers, which are only needed in here to make LV solar panels. So all of this is broadcasted and comes all the way over here. You can see some overflow here. That's what the overflow chests are good for. I actually don't have one in the system. That's why that's there. So now we should do the purple area first actually. So purple area here only makes UU matter. It's dedicated to making UU matter. So you will need a ton of power to make UU matter. I will show the power first actually. So I built this. This is not needed, but it is the highest storage unit in the game. So if I'm ever not using power, it'll be stored in here. And it stores up to 1 billion power, so that's why I built it. You can see I'm using all the power I put into it though, because I don't have that many HV solar panels yet, hence the factory, so I'm using all the power I make. If you are going to use a PESU, you have to use plasma cables instead of these glass fiber cables, because glass fiber cables will explode. So I want to convert it back down to HV energy so I can use it. So this is a IV transformer, the one we are building right now. you can see here it tells you it takes in 32,000 EU and it outputs 8,000 4 times. So here you can see, yeah, my network is only making, 14,000 on average EU per tick, and this chest or this power supply can output 32,000. So obviously we're never going to create any storage in here. So it's downgraded to 8,000. Remember that the mass fabricators can only take up to 500. That's the highest power supply they can take. I did originally not know that, and I connected this guy here straight to a mass fabricator and it blew a whole bunch of stuff up, so do not do that. So you have to connect your IV transformer to an EV transformer, and the EV transformer takes in 8,200 and it outputs 2,000, so we're getting there. And then I transformed that into these HV transformers, which take in 2,000 and output 500, which is what we need. So I built a ton of them because they can only, you can see they only intake 2,000 each. So in order to accommodate the 4 of these, which output 8,000 each, I need to multiply by 4 again and get 16 of these to have the maximum possible power. And then all of these HVs are connected to these mass fabricators, and that is how those are powered. I also have some MFSUs here, and a couple more up above, which are used to power my plasma creator. But that is how I power the mass fabricators. So, starting in this area once again, I have these machines here which will make dirt. That's all they do, pretty boring. I'm actually using extractor chips, and what extractor chips do is they will pull out everything in the chest that they can, as long as it has somewhere to go. So it's different than the broadcaster. The broadcaster is actually passive, whereas the extractor chips are active and always looking for somewhere to put things. And they will put them anywhere that has a responder chip. So that's what these are for. Every single machine here, these are all compacting recyclers. All of them have item responder chips. And then I just broadcast what's inside of them to the system. And these compacting recyclers work really fast. They have a 10% chance, I think, of making dirt into scrap. So it flies through the dirt and sometimes makes scrap, sometimes doesn't. And then I take all the scrap from these broadcaster chips and I stock into these mass fabricators 64. Just always requesting 64. And it works pretty well. And what the scrap does is it makes the mass fabricators 6 times faster. So you can see how fast it's going right now. All 8 of them going the same speed. If I take this out, you can see all of a sudden how slow it goes. So scrap, very important. This chest here is just for any overflow. So if there's any dirt or scrap in the system that's overflowed, it'll be collected here and then simply broadcast it again. And it's important that you have those kind of all over the place, otherwise having thousands of entities trapped in these pipes will cause quite a bit of lag. I then switched to BuildCraft pipes, these wooden pipes, and use these pipe pulsers to pull all the UU matter out. I need these iron pipes to direct the UU matter over to this gold pipe, and then the gold pipe fills up this chest. This chest broadcasts into our white area, so now we are making our parts for the IV transformer, which you can see it needs quite a bit of stuff. So it starts here with the UU matter. Let's see which way this one goes. So this one goes this way. We turn it into iridium ore here in this crafting bench. The iridium ore is broadcasted into this, which makes iridium plates. You can use items that you don't need in your system anywhere. In this case, I used white lamps. I put one in each slot just so that this chest doesn't waste a whole bunch of iridium ore filling stacks all the way out of iridium plates. So with these lamps here, it'll only ever make one stack of iridium plates, and it won't waste a whole bunch of materials just filling this chest. The iridium plates are then taken over here to make iridium stone. So iridium stone is crafted by reinforced stone around a iridium plate. I make the reinforced stone in here with advanced alloy and stone. And in here I have stone being made forever. So that is my mini iridium stone factory here. So that is what goes in 4 corners, iridium stone. We already made the EV transformer earlier. We already made advanced circuits earlier. So now we just need plasma cables and PESD. Those are the annoying parts, by the way. So to make either of them, you need a plasma core for the plasma cables, and you need a plasma core for the PESD. So might as well make those. In this chest here, there's none in it right now because most of it's going over here. I'll steal some. So this is the plasma fire. This is what the 4 MFSUs are powering. I am unfortunately in a slime chunk, so slime just spawns. And then these torches actually push them all the way to the ceiling. Anyways, these MFSUs output 512 EU per tick. And this plasma fire, if we go back up, requires at least 2000 EU per tick, I believe. So by having 4 MFSUs down there, it's always getting at least 2000 EU per tick. And this will consume UU matter, store it in here, and once you get 10, it'll make that plasma cell that just went out. So I make the empty cells in here, and they come over here when they're needed, and the UU matter obviously comes from over here and makes plasma cells. And the plasma cells transfer all the way over here where they are needed alongside advanced alloy and magnets to make a plasma core. So our advanced alloy comes from all the way through this pipe over there where we took it from. And the magnets are an absolute pain to build. I can show you in here. So you have a magnet. In order to make a magnet, you need a dead magnet and a electrolyzer, and then you get your normal magnet. So to get a dead magnet, you need to compress rare earth chunks. To get rare earth chunks, you need 4 rare earth dust and a iron ingot. And to get rare earth dust, you have to use a rare earth extractor on any of these items here. It tells you approximately how much you'll be needing of each material in the rare earth extractor to get 1 rare earth dust. 320, 320, 320, 320, 128, 65, 47, 10. And soul sand is also 10. Soul sand is obviously a little bit less EMC, so the least EMC for the most rare earth dust, that's what I went for. So this soul sand is being made in here, it is being broadcasted to the network, and then it is being extracted in the rare earth extractor to make rare earth dust. So the rare earth dust travels down here, and then it is in this auto crafting bench. 4 rare earth dust with 1 iron ingot makes rare earth chunks. That is then pushed into the singularity compressor, which makes the dead magnets. That is then pushed all the way over here to this electrolyzer, and the electrolyzer then makes our magnets. So now we have our magnets, and we have our plasma core. The plasma core comes over here to make plasma cables. I can show you how those are made. Just a plasma core, 2 refined iron ingots, and 6 carbon plates. So then we now have iridium stone, plasma cables, EV transformers, advanced circuits. Now we just need the PESD. So this needs 2 iridium plates, which we already make, 2 advanced circuits, which we already make, 4 carbon plates, which we already make, and a plasma core, which we also make right here. So that is all requested here. Finally makes one PESD, and then that is broadcasted, comes down here, and then finally creates our IV transformer. So that is the end of the white area. This took a ton of time. You know, I thought originally it would save me time from handcrafting solar panels, but now I'm not just so sure. But we finally have our IV transformer, which is needed to make our HV solar panel. So that's what I do over here. I take solar panels and my LV transformers. Those combine in here. I can show you real quick. I need some copper cable if there is any. Let me just steal some. So this makes LV transformers in here. At some point they will be pulled out, I hope. Let's just wait a second. There they go. They come into here. The solar panels are crafted with the LV transformer and turn into low voltage solar panels. The low voltage solar panels are pulled out into here, where they are crafted with 8 low voltage solar panels with 1 MV transformer makes medium voltage solar panels. It should pull more into here in a second. Maybe, maybe not. I think it'll pull into here, but I'm not positive. This might have too many items in it. This is requesting 3 stacks of low voltage. Oh, there they went. Wow, it went so fast because it gets, you need 8 of them for 1 medium voltage, so you can see it comes in and it's immediately crafted into medium voltage solar panels. And then these are broadcasted one final time into here, where we need 8 medium voltage solar panels and 1 HV solar panel, or sorry, 1 IV transformer, which there's not in here because they've all been used. And we finally make our HV solar panels. So the biggest slowdown of this factory at the moment is our UU matter. Obviously our UU matter will be sped up the longer the factory works because we will be able to place more HV solar panels here. Let me just place these ones. So I just placed 7, which is another 3500 EU per tick. So now all of these will go a little faster, and we will have 18,000, whereas before we had 14,000. So as it goes up, as I make more, I'll make more faster, so that's pretty nice. And I no longer have to handcraft any of the ingredients, not even one of them, so that's super nice. The last thing I need to show is how the power of the system works, as well as I have all these energy condensers all over the place. So what happens if, let's say I run out of gold? You know, then what happens? Well, to prevent that, I have a whole nother network underneath. So anywhere there is an energy condenser, I have a item stock keeper chip connected to it that is always requesting a block of diamond. So in this chest of gold, let's say you use a stack and it runs out, you see it just ate the stack of diamonds. So that way, now the system will send it another stack of diamonds. There's the other stack, and it will stay full forever. I'll just throw these in there because they'll get turned into silver at some point. So I do that with every single energy condenser. They're all requesting diamonds all the time. And for the crafting tables up here, they also need power on the left in order to work at a decent speed. If they don't have power, they will still work, but they will build one item every 5 seconds or so. Obviously, we want to go faster than that. So I power all of them with electrotine generators, or electrotine generators. I think it's tine actually, but either way, I supply them all with generators. And all of these generators that you can see below here, here's another generator, there's another one, there's another one. They are all always requesting a stack of this electro substance. Always requesting them, so they will also never run out. So nothing here will actually ever run out of either power, thanks to these here. These are LV transformers, which transfers all of this power into low voltage so that all the machines can use it. If you try to connect straight from an HV solar panel into a machine like this induction furnace, the furnace will actually blow up, so do not do that. You have to convert to medium voltage and then to low voltage, and then you can supply as many machines as you'd like. So everything is supplied with power, everything is supplied with EMC, and everything is supplied with electrotine. So everything will stay running forever. And then up here, this is the only thing I have to manually fill at the moment. So I just go in here, I grab a few stacks of red matter, throw it in here, and keeps my blocks of diamonds filled and my electrotine filled. So that is pretty well my factory from start to finish. It probably took maybe 5 hours to build start to finish. I did build it in sections because, as I said, I handcrafted a ton of the first HV solar arrays with the help of this little section here, but I decided I didn't want to handcraft all the other stuff. Everything in here is quite a pain to handcraft, so I automated the entire thing. Hopefully that was cool to someone, and I appreciate you guys watching. Maybe a shorter video than normal. Not sure how long I've been talking, but appreciate it, and see you in the next one.